welcome to Shovelware Diggers. Our dig team is currently excavating the Softkey Shareware 2000 Hit Games 2CD collection. You can find a link in the video description listing the entire directory structure of this archive. Here's what our diggers have for week 274. For more information on how to join the dig team, simply follow the Patreon link in the video description. Now, without further ado, let's get to it. First up, we have a team dig from James Dunn and John Gibson. DOSGAMES /Arcade3 /SPACEMIN. Well, clearly something to do with space. Maybe some mining or minerals. Well, we got a miner.cfg that's 4 bytes big. Miner.data I was about to say Robocop 2, but no, that says Robcop 2. Okay, no idea what that has to do with anything. Small font, looks like a graphics thing, sound com file, doc files, some INS files, whatever those are. Actually, looking at the fact that one of them says explode INS, one of them says zap, I think those are the sound effects. But they're so small, so there would have to be like PC speaker sound effects. But then, why is one of them literally 2 years older than the other ones? Okay, this is a very weird set of files here, but anyways, let's edit space.doc and see what we got here. Space Miner, EGA only, from September 29th, 1990. So then why were there some 92 files? Copyright 1990, sites unseen. And rather than being unseen like you haven't seen anything, it's unseen like it's like the antithesis of a scene of something. Anyways, here's your basic arcade-style game consisting of 3 levels. No one has finished level 3. That sounds like a challenge if I've ever heard one. This game supports AdLib. To use it, run the sound.com driver, supplied with your AdLib board before playing, or in this case, supplied right in the folder. To adjust the play speed to your liking, use the plus and minus keys. Wait. So if you have the ability to control the speed of the game, how is it no one's ever finished level 3? Like, I mean, come on. So this game was a fun project, and it turned out to actually be a fun game to play. Although I write this document in September 1990, the game was written in December 1989. I still find myself playing it when I have a few minutes. Okay, so it sounds like something someone wrote just for the heck of it, and then have ultimately decided to release onto a BBS or something. So pick up as many rocks until you reach your quota, gets you to the next level. Kill drone ships for 100 points each. Don't kill a police ship that isn't after you unless you're very good. Another cop will hunt you down. Okay. A cop spots you taking rocks, he'll hunt you down. Wait, so... Okay, it's not technically mining anymore if we're doing it against the law. Is there a term for that? Like, if you're mining something illegally, is there like a term that's for that kind of person or that kind of activity? I don't actually know. Okay, and we have the people responsible here. So the game was made by Ian Curry, graphics by Robert Kohler, Perry Bontano, and Alex Jean-Claude. And it looks here that even though the game seems to be freeware, the programmer is offering the source code for $40 Canadian, which back then would have been more like, I think, 25, 27 US, something like that. So anyways, let's see what we got. We might have to run that sound thing first. Let's see where we end up without it. So Space Miner, sights unseen. We got some EGA graphics going on here. I'm trying to figure out if the graphics here were done in like Deluxe Paint or something using its perspective capabilities. Not impossible, but it could have been a different program. Anyways, the year is 2198. The solar system MAZWAR. What? Let me read this again. I didn't expect a comma there. Okay, the year is 2198. The solar system MAZWAR, having recently been declared regime mining space for its vast amount of raw materials, is now off limits to private enterprise. Wow, this is actually very difficult to read, partly owing to the fact that it's like that really, really small font that uses so few pixels. Okay, one more try. The year is 2198. The solar system MAZWAR, having recently been declared regime mining space for its vast amount of raw materials, is now off limits to private entrepreneurs such as yourself. Tired of being forced to live a meager existence on the rare occurrences of these raw materials in neighboring solar systems, you have chosen to ignore the evil new regime's law and continue to collect raw materials in MAZWAR, such as your family has done for over 3 generations. Equipped with simple torpedoes, you must withstand the onslaught of regime drones, vacuum mulchers, and vicious regime patrols. Your family and heritage are counting on you. Good luck. And have fun with level 3. Okay, so you, the drones, the mulcher, the patrols. Let's see where we end up. Whoa. Okay, Okay, so first of all, you do not hold the keys down. You just push the direction you want to go and you immediately start moving. Oh, we do indeed have PC speaker sound effects. Okay, so we do indeed have a quota here that we're trying to go for. I should probably check to see if the numpad works. Okay, the numpad does work for doing diagonals. Oh geez, this is actually there's a lot going on here. Well, more to the point, it's actually just moves really fast. I mean, we can adjust the speed, I believe. Okay, but now it kind of feels like almost a little too slow. I don't know. Like, this is a situation where I think the game could have used, like, a little more, some slower movement while bumping up the, yeah, some slower movement just so that the higher frame rate could have more happen within those frames, right? Or actually, wait a minute, there's supposed to be ad-lib sound, right? Maybe I should go try to use that sound thing, see if we can get that working. So, we escape, and then go sound. Okay, it said sound driver successfully installed, so let's go back into it. Okay. There are definitely sound effects now. And I got sucked in by a mulcher. Wow, there's some weird sound effects now. I kind of almost liked it better with the PC speaker. Yeah, it doesn't help that the enemies come on screen and just start blasting like crazy. Now, supposedly you can press... Yeah, you press the insert key to stop moving. Yeah, this is actually kind of difficult, just because there's, again, the frame rate's low and everything happens really fast, even with the speed turned down here. Well, at least Zero's a life, so... Okay, so we managed to take out a mulcher there, but now we've got... Yeah, and you can't really dodge those, what are they called? Like police ships or something? Yeah, the game has a very different feel when you've got the ad-lib sound going. And yeah, things just happen too fast. And you can't exactly stay at the bottom of the screen, because that's... If you stay at the bottom, eventually those blue police cruisers are going to come in, and then they're just going to... Oh, wow. Apparently the enemies can even destroy each other. That's actually kind of good to know. I guess staying at the bottom of the screen isn't too bad. Oh, I see how this works now. Okay, so if the blue police cruiser shows up on screen, you can't collect any rocks, because if you do, it alerts them that you're mining rocks illegitimately. So you gotta make sure to not collect any while they're on screen. Okay, I get it. Okay, I'm starting to believe the thing about no one ever clearing the third sector, but can we at least clear Sector 1? Got 1 life remaining, doing well on the quota. There's 14 left, and now 12. We can do this, right? So yeah, staying near the bottom does seem to be okay. So far, the police cruisers haven't spawned anywhere that I am on the screen. And I've also noticed that when the mulchers are on the screen, it actually sucks all the rocks towards it. Whoops. Oh, geez. Down to my last life, and I've only got 5 more rocks to go. Let's see if we can do this. And actually, yeah, that's exactly what I was worried about with staying at the bottom of the screen. Okay, then. So that was Space Miner. Interesting concept for a game. I think it needs a little more variety than this, and also better timing. Because the thing is, the game can run at a pretty high frame rate. Like, if I push the plus button all a bunch, yeah, this is how fast the game can go, and this is just way too fast. But the thing is, if you were to, like, have the speed of everything that was moving on screen, then suddenly having the frame rate this high is actually acceptable. But instead, if you want to get the game more playable, you have to actually slow it down. And now it's just jerky instead. So yeah, I think this game has potential. It just needed a bit more work to make it a bit more playable. And before we get to Zinfandel ZT's successful dig, he did have a failed one. DOSGAMES /arcade/crew_PE, and this one failed for a kind of a dumb reason. Okay, so it looks like this is just a cheat thing for something? Like, I mean, this hasn't actually identified what game it's for. Has it? Okay, here we go. In the NFO file, it says this is for Planet's Edge. So apparently this is a cheat program to make Planet's Edge easier by giving you 100% ability scores and health and stuff, but doesn't actually include the game. And the other executable here is literally, there's no sound here, and it's just shows some greets and a message and stuff for the people who put this together. So yeah, not much here to talk about. The Zinfandel ZT's successful dig is DOSGAMES /arcade2/MAZWAR. Well, we're about to go to war in a maze, probably. MAZWARs. Got a doc, exe, file id.diz, and a gamesys, which is probably config data. So let's just do a type on that file, id.diz. Maze Wars 1.1. Absolutely amazing 3D maze game. Get a real feel for virtual reality. Lightning fast. Supports VGA and mouse. Rodent not required. What? Multiple maze levels and levels of difficulty. Monsters to kill and mazes to solve. Arcade-style graphics. Fully functional shareware version. Not crippled in any way. This is not just another maze game. Well, you could have fooled me because that's a very small executable file. Okay, so let's go into mazewars.doc and see what we got here. Okay, got a little bit of ASCII art to start things up. So, oh, I almost forgot that that's a particular character in the character set. So, copyright by Amazing Graphics in 1992. And it's calling it another virtual reality graphics game. It's no. I think this stems from the fact that if you scroll back to the early days of 3D graphics on computers, some people confused the notion that virtual reality simply meant three-dimensional. That's not ever how that term was supposed to be used, but yeah, terms like that, people get things confused all the time with this old stuff. So it says here there's 11 levels of play, which just looks to be a speed change. Several important keys on the keyboard to enhance the game. So I is a velocity increaser, in case you want to move faster. D is a velocity decreaser, slows down speed. This is one of the most detailed explanations of a pause key I've ever seen. P key is a toggle type of key. Press P and the game pauses. It will remain paused until you press P again. This allows one to answer the phone or do whatever and still play the game. And apparently the author wants $15 for this game. So we will see if it is worth that. There's not really any other controls in here. So maybe it's going to be as simple as the arrow keys. I don't know. but let's find out. Maze Wars. Okay, that's an interesting way to start it. So we had like a road and we came up upon this wall in the middle of the road. Okay, we got a help screen. So you're in a virtual reality maze. You have total movement and bullet firing capabilities. Use of the mouse. Left button moves forward. Right button moves backwards. Both down at the same time fires a bullet, and a gentle sweep side to side will rotate you around. These don't sound like very intuitive controls, but let's see how this goes. So, okay, we could edit the colors. Oh, that's interesting. That actually shows the button already being pressed down when you hover the mouse over it. Don't know if I like that, but... And yeah, you can change the colors of everything if you want to. Okay, so... We've got a very bizarre perspective going on with this maze. Occasionally I'm seeing like a crosshair show up. Whoa! Okay, I think this might be moving a little too fast. I'm going to try turning the cycles down a little. Okay, this feels like a more normal speed. And we got a whole bunch of enemies here. So, both at the same time fires a bullet. Okay. I have to be a little careful because it seems like if you hold it down, it will just fire repeatedly. So yeah, this is I was a little worried that these controls are going to be bad, and they actually kind of are, but at the same time, they're also not terrible. Like, I mean, these controls are workable. The perspective's a little wonky, though, because it's like, yeah, it's hard to say exactly what's going on with the perspective here. It's almost like the 0 point, like where the camera is. Like, the rotational center of the camera is, like, ahead of where the player's viewpoint actually is. So it's a little weird in that regard. It's not terrible. I've seen worse. At least it's not like a fisheye perspective that sometimes happens when people make bad assumptions about how to do perspective correction. Which is something I'm guilty of because I've made bad 3D engines in the past. way back when I was a kid and didn't know any of the math involved. So I'm not sure what that timer's counting, but it seems like I'm almost done with all the monsters here. There's just one more to go, wherever it is. Hiding somewhere. Up there it is. And yeah, the monsters are pyramids. Not pyramid heads, just literal pyramids. You may now exit the maze if you can find it. Oh, what? So after we kill everything, we actually have to get out of here? Huh. Well, when you're stuck in a maze, best thing to do is just use the standard maze-solving logic. Just run around an edge until you... Well, actually, that might not work here. Because one thing I've noticed with the shape of this particular maze is that there's a lot of middle sections. But then, like, there are sections, like, right here that do seem to get cut off. Yeah, so now the perspective is a problem. Because it's very easy to lose sight of which areas are actually corridors that you've been down or are trying to go down or whatnot. Yeah, I've been around the entire edge of this maze now. Like, the entire outer wall, and there's no exit. Like, the only way there's an exit in this maze is if someone put it in the middle of the maze, which is kind of not fair. But that's like the only place an exit could be at this point. I should also mention that these mouse controls are extraordinarily sensitive. I mean, like, really sensitive. I am barely touching the mouse to get it to move just huge amounts. If I move... Okay, prepare yourselves. I'm about to turn the mouse at my normal movement speed if I was playing an actual first-person game. Yeah, this is this is way too sensitive. Also, if you run into a wall, you immediately stop moving until you actually face away from the wall. So you can't, like, slide against it like you would in other more modern first-person games. And I understand why that happens. Like, basically, it's a math thing. If you want to slide against the wall, you got to do extra math. And given the fact that the perspective's not perfect here, I'm willing to bet the author didn't exactly want to do that math. Well, I can't find the exit, so whatever. That was MAZWAR. Not bad. Terrible perspective, but totally playable despite that. I have no idea how it's hiding the exit, but whatever. I guess for $15, if you wanted something 3D and you weren't exactly thrilled with games like Wolfenstein 3D or something, then I guess this would fill a niche? I don't know. Well, I guess the other thing too, Wolfenstein 3D would have been like twice the price. Oh, wait a minute. Where did that come from? What? I was just moving around at random and I suddenly look down a corridor and there's an exit? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay, that's clearly the exit to this maze. Because, like, I mean, we got, like, a nice scenery and everything. But look at this. If I go around this wall here, and then go like this, look at this. I am now behind where that scenery was. They literally did put the exit in the middle of the maze, which leads to an outdoor scene that couldn't possibly be where it is. Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, I found the exit again. But yeah, it's in the middle of the maze. Like, that's not fair. You can't put the exit to a maze in the middle of the maze. And not give me a freaking reward or anything. Just bring me back to the title screen. Jeez. And our last dig for today from Paul Scheer is WINGAMES /GG/Orient. For some reason, I'm thinking this might have something to do with like the Orient Express or something. Because that was a popular train, wasn't it? Where is it? Orient. Here we go. File ID.diz, got a message file, whatever that's about. Readme's in an executable for some reason. And then VB Run 200. So it's definitely a Windows game, but why would you put the readme in an executable? Better question, why would you put the readme in a DOS executable that needs to modify the character set? Okay, so apparently this is something called Mysteries of the Orient, 1990, copyright 94, New Zone Productions. So, gotta make sure you got all the files, main program, yeah, so okay, so we got the files. So, how to run it. Then note about using VGA graphics under Windows. This game works best if you have a VGA device driver installed under Windows capable of displaying 256 color graphics. Interesting. There's not a lot of Windows 3.1 software, not a lot of independently made Windows 3.1 software that utilizes 256 color graphics. So this might be interesting. So I guess there's not much else going here. We've got the file ID.diz here. It says it's a collection of ancient puzzles with excellent graphics. Okay then, so let's see what we got. So Orient, Mysteries of the Orient, with a 3D rendered flower in a flower pot. Very small window. We got a help, got a game. So we got apparently 4 different puzzles we can play. How to play brings up a custom window, which doesn't look like it resizes properly, which brings up more windows. Apparently whoever made this loves their dialogue boxes. Please remember this is a valuation copy, registration fee of $5, which is actually pretty reasonable for a Shareware Windows 3.1 game. But yeah, apparently we've got 4 different puzzles here. So we got Leapfrog, which guessing this is one of those ones where you have to like jump things over pegs and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, so it's one of these types of puzzles. Well, I didn't do that so well. Ended up with 3 pegs left. Oh well, so let's try another one. We can either restart this one or go to a different game. This one's called Roundabout. Okay, I read the rules and I'm not even sure if this is actually a puzzle. Like, you click on a tile, and then you click 4 ahead of it. Well, in this case, it's kind of like 3 ahead, which flips the tile over. And then you click another one, and you click 4 ahead of it. And if you click one that you can't do 4 ahead on, then how are you supposed to... I think there was a way to deselect this? Right, so you gotta double click. So if you select one you didn't mean to, you double click. And then the idea is you're trying to flip over all but one of the tiles using this sort of logic where you have to go like, you click on one, 1, 2, 3, click on the other, and that flips it. So, okay, so this is kind of like a puzzle. Well, like I say kind of like, it is a puzzle, because since the tile you're flipping is the one that's ahead of the one that you're clicking on, and you can only click on tiles that are not revealed, now it becomes a matter of doing a pattern that will allow you to keep things going properly without running out of tiles to click. Now, it seems the best I can do is to get it down to like 3 remaining instead of 1 remaining. There's probably a trick to it, but I'm not sure what. So next we got bamboo, which looks like some kind of network of things. We got a separate start button for it as well. What's the how to play say for this one? Okay, so this one isn't actually a puzzle. This is, the computer makes a move, then you make a move, and the idea is to get to 18 moves without being captured by the computer. So, and the idea is that you can only move to spaces where there's an adjacent, or there's a line connecting to it. Now, why it's using this particular pattern, I'm not sure, but... well, 10 moves so far. So I'm going to guess the computer's going to get a little more aggressive or something. The instructions did say something about that happening, but so far it just seems to not be doing that. Okay, so up to 14 now. Okay, so the computer is about to win here, because no matter which move I pick... yeah, so I got to 17 moves. Interesting. I almost feel like this grid has been intentionally designed. Just looking at the way it's been laid out, I almost feel like it's been intentionally designed to make it so that after a certain point, when the computer starts to zero in on you, that you're always going to lose on the 17th move. Maybe? And in fact, the computer player seems to follow the exact same set of moves for the first few every single time. Which is kind of interesting. Yeah, this is ending the exact same way. This is a very cleverly designed maze of passages. And I have a funny feeling these starting positions are not arbitrary either. And then for this puzzle, apparently what we have to do is... you can only move tiles to empty squares. So there's only one empty square, and we're trying to rearrange it so that it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 at the bottom there. And then there's also these 2 pieces up here, which we can't move. So this is kind of like a sliding tile puzzle, except you've got a spare section here, and then everything else has to go on down here. So let's see if we can figure this out. Sliding tile puzzles I'm generally not that bad at. So hopefully I can do this one. Oh yeah, I've got this one. This compared to every puzzle that I've played so far, this one's super easy for me. Because yeah, sliding tile puzzles are something I can actually do. So that was Mysteries of the Orient, a collection of 4 little puzzle games for $5. I guess if you like puzzle games like these and $5 seems worth it, then yeah, there you go.